There we go. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Standing Orders Review Committee meeting on Monday, the 22nd of January 2024. First item of business on the agenda is the election of a chair. Any takers?
Everyone's putting their heads down, aren't they?
I don't mind doing it again, but I feel like I've chaired this committee since it started, so it would be nice to give someone else an opportunity if they want it, but I have no objections to remaining.
I'm very happy if you're willing to propose you continue as chair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's not like we meet too often, but yeah, happy to.
No, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't have the time, so to get into the nitty gritty of it, I'm already chair of planning, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll second Phil's proposal. I'm happy to stay. And a show of hands, please. Thank you. Item number 2, election of a deputy chair. I don't know. I think that might be you at present, Phil.
I think so. Shall we just keep the status quo then?
Yeah.
Because, as you said, Andy, you're chairing other committees as well.
Yeah.
And spread the load a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so can I nominate Councillor Leslie Days and
I'll
Grant Seconder? Councillor Leslie and Michelle. Thanks, okay. We've already kind of done the welcome at item 3, so we'll just pass over that. Go to item 4, apologies for absence.
Councillor McKinnon and Bond.
Thank you. And any declarations of interest?
No.
None. Minutes of the Standing Order Review Committee meeting held on 13th of March 2023, so that was some time ago. But having read them, I don't have any amendments to propose. Does anyone else?
No.
No,
I'm
okay.
happy to propose their acceptance.
Yeah, what are we on? Sorry, the minutes.
Right, okay, yeah.
I'll second.
Councillor Westby second, and that's unanimous.
Yeah.
Next is public participation. We have no members of the public here tonight, so we'll pass by that one as well. On to item 9, which is the financial regulations.
Oh, sorry, the standing order there.
Oh,
Not just at the
Just
bottom of the page.
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so it is. Apologies, everybody. Item 8, standing orders for consideration and resolution. So any of the amendments, Sharon tracked and highlighted in yellow for us. I'm hoping everyone's had a bit of an opportunity to read these in advance of the meeting.
The only item that I had a question on with regards to the standing orders, yeah, it seems pretty sensible in there. Just item B6, which has been crossed out.
Yeah.
When we had the standing orders put in place,
Mm,
it was suggested we put that in there
yeah,
because it says if it's lawfully permitted.
which it isn't.
It isn't, but should there be another pandemic at one time, we wouldn't have to change our standing orders in the future.
The thing is, you can't put something in the standing orders that's currently illegal to do. So when we get to the point where there's a second pandemic, we'd have to rely on the government to put another law in, unfortunately. I see what you're saying, online to the extent the law permits it.
Yes.
And I get that's the key phrase.
Yeah.
But the thing is, obviously you've got a council's virtual meeting protocol, which obviously we'll be looking at in policies later on in the year. But well, if you want to keep it in, obviously knowing that at the moment there is no legislation where it permits you to meet, like,
I think that's a clear understanding of it. We
Yeah.
can't do it unless the law permits. And
yeah,
it's only an option even then.
yeah.
But I just thought, in light of all of the
But the thing
trauma
is,
over the last 50
yeah,
years.
my point is, even if you have that in there, when we do have, if and when we do have another pandemic, you still won't be able to use it because it won't be legal until the law changes.
Yeah.
So you might as well wait until the law changes. That was just what I was thinking, but it's up
Would
to
we
you.
have to, because I know this became a bit of a tricky one last time.
Yeah,
We went into the pandemic, the law was changed. Technically,
yeah,
we had to meet physically to put an amendment in place, then meet virtually because it wasn't in the standing orders at the time.
yeah. You had to go in a car park.
And it was a bit of
Yeah.
it became a bit of a funny thing, and then that's why this one was put in there. And I'm only saying it because I remember the fast we had last time.
Yeah,
I don't see it doing any harm by keeping it in there, and it just then
okay.
allows us to go straight into virtual should it ever happen again.
And if and when the law changes,
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah,
then have
yeah,
to be
fine.
reactive
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we've been proactive
Yeah.
almost. by
Yeah.
having-
I'm not particularly passionate one way or the other, I'm just trying to prevent what happened last time.
Yeah,
I agree with
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But other than that,
And
the
then
rest of the
without,
suggestions are fine.
without the law coming into play,
Yeah.
it's otherwise nil and void until the law changes.
yeah.
If the law
If it were.
is required to change.
Yeah. I
in the
mean,
future.
obviously, the government, or there are factions of the government that keep trying to put through the legislation about remote meetings, but they're not, just not having it. And I think it's Parliament being a bit churlish because they're not allowed to meet online,
Yeah.
so they
We've
don't.
been,
want you to.
we've been advised previously, I know we've had this discussion, that it is very unlikely that they'll pass laws permanently about this,
Mm.
so I think we just leave that as a,
Yeah,
if there is a pandemic or emergency
Yeah,
and the
fair
law
enough.
changes,
Yeah,
we
okay.
don't have to do the interim step in
yeah,
between, we can just get on with
Okay.
the operations of the council. But other than that, that's fine.
Yeah.
I did have just a couple, which were, Andy, is there anything you want to comment on
No.
first? Okay. The couple that I had was, B9, I was happy with the, amendment at the beginning to omit the shall be determined by the relevant chair, and I was happy
Yeah.
to get rid of that. But the additional and the proposed an extension or, I just feel that there's not a requirement to have an extension unless we include it in the standing orders, and it's kind of making an extra step for ourselves. That if then we just get a bit carried away and forget, it's like, oh, you're in breach of your standing orders. So I wondered if it was best just to leave the additional piece out, but keep the other amendment at the beginning,
Mhm.
was the
Yeah.
suggestion I was gonna make.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah, I mean, I
sense.
did put, should the meeting exceed 2 hours, any member may propose an extension, but you don't have to go for it. If they propose it, if you all say, look, we're so tired, this has been really heavy, let's adjourn, you've got a choice.
Yeah.
This isn't to say you shall, it says you
Yeah.
may.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
well, to be honest, I just thought if there's a choice for an adjournment,
Yeah,
then if they feel that way, they would just say,
There's vote on.
can we please have
Oh.
an adjournment?
so what you would like to do, so there's, yeah, but you,
Yeah.
if say, for instance, what if you got to the 2 hours and you desperately wanted to conclude it, but your standing orders don't allow you an extension, you've got to adjourn regardless?
No, because it would be that they may propose an adjournment. So if you wanted to be done
Yeah,
after 2 hours, you could request an adjournment and then members would agree it. Well, if they were minded to.
okay.
Do you understand?
I do
Am I being
understand.
confusing? I don't know
Well,
how to explain
I
it.
just, the only reason I put an extension in is so that you've got the option. Because what you're saying is that, obviously you've got to have a point where you say how long the meeting should last, which
Yeah.
is you're saying 2 hours.
Yeah, so what we're saying is, should it exceed 2 hours, we would just continue unless
Unless
someone
someone asks for an
asks for an
adjournment.
adjournment.
Mm.
But after 2 hours, they're very welcome to
So it's
ask.
the other way around, it's been the other way around up to now.
Yeah.
We used,
just,
we used to, when we had the original Sunday laws, have to ask for an extension.
Continuation.
But
Yeah,
that was forced.
Yeah,
But that was false, and then we found
Yeah.
out from seeking,
yeah,
advice
yeah.
from NALC and others, but there's no legal requirement for us to have that in there unless we've written it into our standing orders, and we thought that this was the best way forward for this, so I think
Yeah,
it'd probably keep it as simple as that.
So effectively, we're reversing the default position, aren't we?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
Because most standing orders, they say your meeting should last X hours.
yeah.
So it actually says
But we
your
put it
meeting
on our agendas, don't
shall
we?
last
Do we?
no longer than
expected
2.5
meeting
hours.
length.
Yeah.
Because we put expected
Yeah,
meeting length, there's enough
Scope.
regular scope for
Yeah.
it to be said, so I think
yeah,
just
okay.
leave it as that, that'd be.
Yeah, so you wanted to take out an extension?
Yeah, please,
Okay,
Shannon.
yeah.
And then the only other ones, just literally so minor things, on B13, where it says the main meeting each year shall be the council's annual meeting
Yeah.
of the town council.
Yeah.
I thought we could probably omit that first councils and would just be, shall be the annual meeting of the town council, rather than say councils twice. I just thought it
Yeah,
might just read a bit more
that read it,
smoothly.
yeah.
Oh, I get you, yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah,
reads
it's just
town
a,
council.
Because,
yeah,
yeah.
grammatical,
And then,
yeah.
The other thing was B26 and 27, sorry. I actually wondered whether that could be, accepting co-options or replace co-options with appointments. Because then I thought that would give some flexibility around appointments of chairs and vice chairs, mayors, deputy mayors, if members wanted. So it's not that it has to be a paper ballot, but if they request it, it could be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I feel like sometimes it might
Can
be,
be.
especially, can I just say, like, I don't feel like there's any bias because I have 2 relatives that are members.
Yeah.
But I feel like people might think that if they do vote for me, it's because they have an obligation to, because I can see they're voting for me and I might get the hump if they don't.
I get it.
Whereas if it's
Yeah.
like paper ballot, they can
Yeah.
vote for anyone and I've never known. Like, I'm just saying, or
Okay.
vice versa. Do you know what I mean? I just think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how would you like it to be worded then?
It takes away the personal aspect of it.
Yeah, I just think, do
Which is
you know what I mean,
all that.
sometimes, especially when we do work so closely with each other, some of us, people might think they feel that the other person that's maybe been nominated would feel pressured to vote for that person, even if they didn't want to, because their eyes are on them. So it just takes away that kind of someone's hand being forced a little bit.
So would you like it to be accepting co-options and voting for chairman?
Yeah, or just maybe appointments, because co-options are
Their
appointments.
appointments, yeah.
And the chairman votes are appointments.
It's,
Brilliant, yeah,
it's
okay.
wide enough word. that
Yeah.
you Use scope.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's flexible, but not,
Fine.
yeah, really
Um,
flexible.
And then it becomes about personal matters rather
Yeah.
than about
Yeah.
council. Council votes should be, where possible, transparent.
Yeah.
Policy and things like
The
that.
operations of the council,
Mm,
but on appointments and stuff, it can be a little bit.
Personal.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that then actually removes that because nobody
That's
knows.
good.
Yeah, excellent,
Um,
okay.
The same would then apply with 5A further down, which is voting. I think,
That's under the
I've lost
meeting.
it.
It's
Oh,
by
yeah.
Oh,
association.
that's in the meeting protocol,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, I
Yeah.
got
But-
rid of myself, yes.
But to be fair, that's part of this section because
Yes.
we're discussing matters that then run
Yeah.
into this, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meeting protocol, but yeah,
Yeah.
are we okay with those amendments? Can we take them on?
Yeah,
Oh,
including
Yeah.
5A to appointments, yeah,
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 So,
that's
so
fine.
say that again, Phil.
Under
including-
are we
under
now talking
5A,
about, are we now talking about the meeting protocol, or are we still? on
yeah, the
standing
meeting
orders?
protocol, because it's part of the same, because
Yeah.
the way we've got the standing order set
Oh, yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah,
it is essentially an extension to the standing orders.
Yeah.
isn't it?
okay, yeah,
So, yes, for
with the,
the items in standing orders and also under 5A, that co-option is replaced by appointments.
Yeah,
yeah.
So with those amendments, I'll be very
Can I
happy.
just say as well, sorry, and then, just further to what Phil said about 5A, 5C, the only thing I thought there was that we needed a contingency for if there's a draw.
Yeah, I made that point.
but isn't
That's
that
it.
the chairman?
That's,
That's the bit that's been crossed out before though, isn't it, where you,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
if there was a
B-
draw, then it would be
It'd be a
just the
chairman
chairman's cast vote. Maybe that ought to
I
just
mean,
be,
that's in D, isn't it? The chairman of the
clarified.
meeting may give an original vote, and in the case of an equality of votes, may exercise his casting. vote.
okay, and then that would then apply to C as well.
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
we've got the co-option in number 11 of the agenda this evening, so we'll clarify it in that as well.
So it applies to both, maybe,
Okay,
okay, perfect.
with those, yes.
Yes,
yeah,
so that's a proposal from councillor Leslie, seconded by councillor Westby, and the show of hands, and that again is unanimous. Thank you, Karen. And then moving on, we next have, item 9, which is the financial regulations. Does anyone have any comments on the amendments that have been highlighted to those? I do not this time, I was quite content with the.
No, that's all fine. It's in line with the new policies on over the thresholds.
Yeah,
very sensible approach to personnel matters, which we do get asked about from time to time. I think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, that's all good.
okay, good, yeah, excellent, there weren't too many on that one.
Andy, any comments?
No, no, I'm fine with that.
Would anyone like to propose the exception? No.
I'll propose.
Councillor Westby, seconded by councillor Leslie,
Yeah,
and again, that's unanimous.
lovely.
Thank you. Next, we had item 10, which is the terms of reference. Sharon, I think when we spoke earlier,
Oh,
you
yeah.
reminded to
Yeah,
defer
I
this,
haven't
just
had
because you
enough time
wanted
to
to have.
study them, although there's only 4 of them, but
Yeah.
I have brought them with me tonight, but
No, I was going to suggest
we didn't
because they haven't been
update.
included in the pack.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, it's not fair,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
So
think
they're
as well,
gonna
you
defer.
don't want to rush it, do you, Sharon?
No.
You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
go
it was
through them.
enough doing the standing orders.
No, that's fine. So if we can defer that to the next meeting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
And then it's the co-option policy. Which again, it was just really, the only thing I picked up on was, with item 4,
yeah,
a contingency again, to obviously,
No, it's one of those things that you learn as you do, don't you?
yeah,
So, yeah, I'm happy for the amendments in there. Just on point 4,
Mhm.
which is something that Andy's already raised, is the vacancy shall be filled by a simple majority vote by secret ballot. And I think we need to just specify in there, if it is in the draw, that the chairperson has the casting vote.
yeah,
And I think we need to do that just for transparency
Yeah.
of process.
yeah,
We still,
People are aware of
we have still got the process though, whereby we whittle, yeah, because 3, the all time, there's not an overall
Oh, yeah.
leader. We need to whittle out the one with the lowest vote.
that is
Well,
another way of
pre-meeting.
voting, but you
Well-
can't vote.
if we had 3 and say they all had 4 votes each, I then feel like it would be the chairman who picked out of the 3 rather than out of the 2,
Yeah.
but his
It's
casting
much
vote would
more
still be the
simple,
deciding.
yeah.
wouldn't it?
I think, and I just want to clarify, is a simple majority of councillors. It
Yeah,
has to be a majority. It
Yeah.
can't be like,
No,
you've got 3 lots of 3 voters. You know,
Yeah.
it has to be a majority of
Yeah,
council
yeah.
members, so it has to have some sort of way of
yeah,
clarifying that on there.
yeah,
if you had, yeah, if you had eight councillors voting, and then 7 of them abstained, the one person that did vote has the majority.
Yeah.
by the vote.
no, I think what we're saying
Yeah.
is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just that we need something to follow the statement that's
Oh,
been
yeah, I'll put
made.
that in,
Yeah,
yeah.
just to say,
Specify the chairman has to
yeah,
cast
in
the vote.
the case of
Yeah.
a tie or a
Yeah.
draw or whatever you want to
The,
refer
the
to
only thing
as,
is, there's no way you can
the
keep that
chairman will
casting
then have
vote.
the cast,
The chairman has to be transparent, because as soon as you've announced that it's a draw, you can't then not utter the words, oh, it's a draw, and the
The-
chairman
and then
has
it's
to
not
utter-
the obvious.
And
yeah.
it's, then,
But that's part of being the chairperson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
that
have-
is the
Yeah.
burden that
You
you
do,
carry.
yeah,
for the-
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
as long as it's clear that
Yeah.
that's possible
Yeah.
to happen, yeah, fine, okay.
And that was the only amendment I wanted.
Yeah,
to
just for
suggest
clarity
that.
on that side.
Yeah, and then are we happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Teresa?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And seconded by councillor Westby, and
Yeah.
that's again unanimous, so. Next we have, I'm scrolling like backwards and forwards to the agenda, I should have them open on separate tabs really. Next is, item 12, which is public participation. We have no members of the public. Councillor Dale, as you've joined us early, is there anything that you'd like to say?
I don't even know what meeting it is.
Oh.
That's
That's fine. Standing orders. So nothing too
Haven't
interesting.
been notified, or any of them are not members.
No, you're not a member this term.
Sorry?
Vera, you're not a member of this committee this term.
I don't think so.
No.
I am, I
haven't got you
No, no,
back.
no.
Yeah,
No, I was just asking as you were here, if there was anything you wanted to raise while we were all present.
Yeah, I'd like to start at the beginning, go through it again.
Item 13, items for inclusion on the next agenda. The only one we've got is the standing orders.
terms of
Terms of
reference.
Oh, terms of
Yeah.
reference, yeah, sorry, apologies.
Yeah, I mean, sort of like, what I just want to say is, eventually I'll be getting down to policies. Because you look at them all at the annual meeting of town
Yeah.
council, but at the same time, I just sort of like, I don't know whether it's in order to put those on here as we get towards May, so that, or not, because you don't have to.
So,
make it
so I think we've got, there's two things here. There's not that much time really between
No,
now and May to do a thorough review of everything.
so I'll just work on.
Where we haven't met for so long. We could meet and kind of try and take out some of the nitty gritty before the May meeting, maybe in April,
Yeah,
so that we can just pass them forward as a recommendation from our
I was
committee for
suggesting either
acceptance.
Martha or Brooke, depending on
yeah,
what you're able to do, Sharon, in preparation for this. But
Yeah,
if there were, particularly in terms of reference,
yeah,
Second half of March, you
Yeah.
to,
yeah,
give us, time to get those sorted
with
out.
with Easter in the way as well.
yeah,
There is,
okay,
And I'd like to ask who is on this committee.
yes.
so it's myself, councillor Westby, councillor Leslie, councillor McKinnon and councillor Bond.
so, yeah.
Although it might be wise to actually up our numbers as we are cutting it quite close tonight.
Yeah,
Maybe we can review that in May when we look at the student
Yeah,
orders and
yeah.
the ratio.
So,
Yeah,
Okay.
we have got a new councillor, haven't we? So,
might be interesting.
yeah.
I just think this is perceived as one of the more boring committees.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to do the fun stuff. And this one doesn't really appeal. But no, other than that, Sharon will leave you to set the agenda.
Okay.
And then the date of the next meeting to be confirmed.
Yeah.
Once you, obviously, if there's a lot to go through.
so then if we go for the
Some point in March.
the second meeting in March. Whenever
Yeah.
that might be,
yeah,
but that gives time to get things organised for the main meeting then, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
April go out, can they, but fine.
Okay, I'll just see what that date is. So first and third, so it would be 18th of March.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, that suits.
Reasonable.
Okay, let's say 6 PM on the 18th of March.
Yeah, brilliant.
Perfect. Meeting closed.